Okay, so the first week is basically just going to tell you the basics of digital marketing. Now, don't run off going on YouTube and looking at the basics. Don't get confused. The videos there are so bonkers. They go all over the place, and I watch the videos, and I get confused. So stick to this video, and I'm just going to tell you the essentials you need to know to get your first job and the basics of marketing. These are the core things that marketers understand and the foundations, and they're not too difficult to understand if you focus and study. So, see you in the course. Hey, so this is the training module, and before we get into the training, we're going to give you this checklist of a list of formulas and the main formulas and things that you want to look at when you're doing digital marketing for PPC, Facebook and Google ads, right there, email marketing, and SEO. And whenever you're working on stuff and you kind of forget how the formulas work, you can go back to here and check it again. Now, don't worry, I haven't taught you any of this yet, so don't get confused. This is just a reference for when we do teach you and you want to study these metrics and learn them. Now, if you want to edit this, again, make sure to go into File and make a copy for yourself and press OK, because you will not be able to edit this page. So what we have is a list of definitions and terms, because you're going to be learning about a couple of these terms, and don't worry, this is an entire list. We compiled a list of almost everything that you would need to know for digital marketing. However, you're not going to have to know all of this. But let me show you exactly how this works. Throughout the course, I'm going to be teaching you words, and you might not remember some of them, or you might forget, or you don't know what it means. Now, we compiled you this list so that you can look it up. This list is not for you to memorize at all. I don't know all these definitions, and I doubt anybody else actually knows everything inside all these lists. However, if for some reason I'm teaching you something and I say a word like landing page or PPC and you kind of forget what that word means, you can go into one of these definitions, just click on the link, and you can do a search. So what you want to do if you're on your computer is to click Control F to find. It's going to pop this up. Or if you're on a Mac, you can do Command F, and you can look for what I was talking about. So analytics, go analytics, PPC, you see right there, and it gives you the definition. So you can search for these yourselves. And again, I want to stress this, you do not need to memorize all this, and you shouldn't have to memorize all of this. This is just here for reference in case you forget what words mean, in case you forget definitions. You could easily go into any of these articles and look them up. Welcome to the first training. What I really want to show you and what you're going to be expecting over the next couple weeks is to learn everything basic about digital marketing, what it is, and basically how you can make as much money as possible from this field, from this job, or whatever goals you have, whether you want to make $5,000, $10,000, $12,000 per month, which I have seen people do. So it's possible. It's just you have to know the basics first, and that's what we're going to be covering the first week or so. So let's just get right into it. What is digital marketing? Basically, it's just businesses taking their business online, companies taking their business online and getting customers online. I'm going to talk about businesses online versus online businesses, traffic conversion product, and the channels that we're going to be talking over. Don't worry if you don't know any of this. I'm going to go over most of it. So businesses online versus online businesses. So there's basically two types of businesses that need digital marketing. There's ones that originated offline, like Nike. I'm trying to think of other ones like Sony. All of those, they were selling products before online, I'm pretty sure. And then when the internet came about and all these customers started being online, they wanted to get those customers. So they decided to have their own website. They're selling products online. That's just the gist of it. And then there's online businesses like eBay Amazon, those businesses who were created online and they get all their customers online versus Nike who gets their customers online and offline. So why digital marketing? It's because basically marketing is just getting attention from customers in front of your product, your service, or your business. And digital is just mostly online, all technical stuff, all not technical, all technology stuff. And it's basically where everyone is. So because everyone is on Facebook, everyone is on YouTube, everyone is on Google, if you name like the top 3 websites you're on, it's most likely gonna be one of these 3. If you're consuming entertainment, right? You're usually like if it's I'm talking about free entertainment, not saying like Netflix where you have to put in a subscription, but mostly everyone is online looking for solutions for getting entertained. And so digital marketing is literally just showing your business in front of where the attention is. So just to give a broad example, back then all the attention was on TV, right? Everyone was watching TV. The internet wasn't really that big of a thing, so people were still watching TV. And even before that, they were watching radio. So all the commercials, all the marketing was through radio. And then when you're driving down the street, you can see billboard ads because the attention is there, right? That's where all the people are. We're gonna call people in this case traffic. So that's where all the traffic was, and it's the same concept. It's just where the attention is, and now it's all online. And the point of digital marketing is getting your customers to see your product, see your business, see your brand, and connect with it, or buy, or do something with it. So basics of digital marketing. It consists of 3 things: traffic, conversion, and product. Now, I bolded traffic and conversion is because you're going to be mainly focusing on traffic and conversion, because that's what people in digital marketing do. The product is the business's, the company's issue, right? If I sell your products, like I sell your iPhone, or I sell your smartphone, and I sell it really well, but people are pissed at it because it doesn't work, the product is not your problem. I do not control how crappy your product is, right? I do marketing for you. I sell your stuff. You're responsible for your product. Obviously, now companies know this, right? It's just I'm just trying to highlight what you're going to be focusing on. So you're mainly going to be focusing on traffic and conversion. Now, what is traffic? Traffic is basically people, where they are online, where the attention is. There's billions of people on Facebook, so we call this Facebook traffic. We get a bunch of Facebook traffic to our website. Same thing with Instagram, Google, email. This is where all the traffic is. This is where all the people are. It's about getting traffic to your product, to your website, to your business. Here's an example of traffic. So we know that Facebook has millions of users, right? And so we post an ad on your phone, because you're on your phone usually on Facebook or your desktop, and then we get that traffic. We get traffic to our website. We get people to our website. That's why they call it traffic. It's a bunch of people. Same thing with Google. We know everyone's using Google search, so we put up ads on Google search, and we get traffic to your website. See, like someone's looking for best women's coats, and then companies that are selling women's coats try to get that traffic, try to get those people to their website, so then that person looks at the product and buys. Now, there's 2 types of traffic. Okay, there's organic and paid. Organic traffic is just SEO, search engine optimization. Now, I'm going to talk to you a lot about search engine optimization, so don't worry about it right now. But what it is basically not paying to get traffic onto your website. It's just organic. It's just natural. Like if you look up answers online, like social media packages, these are not ads. They don't have to pay to show up on the first page of Google search results. Versus the #1 search result, this one, it's an ad. Fiverr had to pay Google to get that ad onto the top of the website. So that's the difference between organic and paid traffic. One is just natural. If you look on YouTube, watch YouTube videos, and they recommend you videos, and it doesn't say ad anywhere, then that's organic search results. Versus if you see a YouTube ad while you're watching a video, that's a paid search result. So those are the 2 main differences. One is paid, you pay for it. One is organic. And so the second component of digital marketing is conversion. So one is traffic, is the people, right? And conversion is the result, the goal, what you're trying to make them do. Now, obviously, I can get you tons of traffic if I pay Google, let's say I pay Google $20,000 to get 20,000 people onto my website. That's a bunch of traffic. But if they don't do anything on with that traffic, like the website, like the traffic goes on the website, and they don't do anything, they just hop off the website, then it's a wasted ad spend. I just wasted thousands of dollars. But conversion, this is when conversion comes in. Conversion is a specific goal you want that traffic to do. So for maybe I'm selling women's clothing, and a conversion would be an add to bag, right? Because I want the traffic to do something specific, and maybe they add to bag. That would be a specific goal I want them to do. And maybe a different goal, a different conversion would be a purchase. So I would have, so traffic and conversion work hand in hand, right? First I get the traffic to my website, and then I convert them and make them do something on my website, and that would be called a conversion. So for businesses that pay for traffic, they have to have a very specific goal, aka a very specific conversion on what they want that person to do. Because, for example, if they don't do that conversion, then they're wasting money on their advertising. So examples would be getting their email address, which is called a lead. Getting them to hop on a sales call, that's also called a lead. Or they just directly purchase, they buy something, like buying a woman's coat. So these are examples of conversions, and not every business will have multiple conversions. Maybe if I'm just selling shoes, my only conversion is to have people buy the shoes. That would be considered a conversion. If I'm selling bed bugs, or let's say I'm a moving company, I move people's furniture, my only conversion is getting their email so I can contact them and I can set a sales call with them. So some businesses only have one conversion set up or one conversion goal, and some businesses have multiple. It really depends on the business. Okay? So why are they important? Well, conversion is basically to help you measure and track your performance of your marketing. So like the example before, I pay Google $1,000 to get 1,000 people to visit my website, but none of them convert, none of them buy. I wasted $1. Now, what if we change that? If 1% of the people that entered my website, 1 out of 1,000 people, 1% of that bought something for $100, how much would that be, right? So 1,000 people times 1% is about 10 purchasers. So out of 1,000 people that visited my website, 10 of them purchased. And I say on estimate, this is theoretical, just an example purpose. If 10 people bought $100 worth of clothing or whatever I'm selling, that is $1,000 of revenue. I just broke even on my marketing. Now, what if my conversion rates? What if the percentages were higher? What if it was 2%, 3%, 3%? That's what you're gonna start understanding as you move on about traffic and conversion. Your job is to get the right traffic, the right people who want to buy the product, and get them to convert. Now now here's the thing. A lot of the stuff I'm going to teach you, and a lot of the stuff on your job, you're not going to be responsible for if they convert or not. Okay, that is not your job. That is the company's job as well. But it's just to have an understanding of how digital marketing works. Now, you're mainly going to be focusing on traffic, and there's actually a lot of stuff that has to do with traffic. It's very in-depth about traffic, but for conversion, you don't really control that. That is not really your job either. So that's just to preface this. Whether they buy or not, that's up to them, and that's the business's fault. Okay. So again, conversion services. Conversion would be if I'm selling apartments, or I'm trying to lease apartments and I'm trying to get people to sign up, then setting an appointment would be a conversion. Online store, buying a product, signing up for a deal like a 15% off coupon so that I can get your email, so I can keep emailing you promotions. So conversion would be getting your email. So here's an example of an email conversion. They only want your email, so here's like, we're gonna give you $25 off your first order. And after I get your email, the reason why I want this conversion is because when I get your email, I don't have to pay for advertising. I can keep emailing you, right? If you give me your email, I can email you whenever I want. So emailing is free. Setting up a sales call. This is a conversion. Call now. Here's set up an appointment. Sometimes when you're selling something really expensive, like $2,000, you're not gonna, nobody's gonna really put in their credit card for something $2,000 unless it's like a rent, right? So you have to set up a sales call, an appointment to close them on the deal to to sell them through a phone call. That's why setting up an appointment would be a conversion for this type of business. Now I'm gonna get into the channel. So you know what conversions are. You know what traffic is, right? Now you have to know what the channels are. Now channels are basically where all the attention is. And I can almost guarantee you, when you see where all the attention is, they're probably running ads. Like if you see Google, Facebook, Gmail, they're probably running ads on those platforms because they know that there's traffic on there. Same thing with phone apps. You can see those ads when you play phone games. That's where the attention is. And there's a lot of other places where attention is that also is running ads for that. So Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, Quora. So the reason I'm telling you this is because in digital marketing you can run ads on basically all the platforms I just named out, and probably a lot more, because it's all forms of traffic. You just have to pay them, and boom, you put up your ads in front of a bunch of people. And the way these channels, these platforms make their income is letting advertisers, which is going to be us, run ads on them, or the companies we work for run ads on them. We pay them, and our goal is to make money off that traffic. So I pay you $1 to post my ad, and I want to make a profit on that dollar. Or some companies go into the red, go into negative, but we're not going to talk much about that right now. So I put in Fantastic Four so there's 4 main aspects of digital marketing that are very, very big, that take up like a majority of the marketing online. And it's search engine optimization, Google, Facebook ads, which is pay-per-click. I'll tell you what that is later. Google ads, which is also pay-per-click, and email marketing. So I'm going to get into the Fantastic Four now. So why are these channels so big, right? Why are they so important? It's because there are channels, but that's where most of the attention is. That's where all the traffic is. 90% of the time you're gonna be using Google, you're gonna be using Facebook, and you're gonna be using your Gmail, email, and probably YouTube is like the other one. But these are the biggest 4, and because there's so much attention, there's so much traffic on there. That means that people want to advertise here a lot. A lot of companies can advertise here. It's very diverse, which means there's going to be a high demand for people that know how to advertise on these channels, that knows how to market on these channels, which means the salary is high, it's easy to get into, you don't need much experience, and it's very easy to grow in. I was able to make, I know you guys probably saw the training, the free training we gave up, but I was able to make 6 figures in like 6 months. And it's not because I'm better than people, it's not because I'm smarter, it's just because of supply and demand. These 4 channels are so big, and there's such a high demand, and there's such little supply on people that know how to do this, that they're willing to pay a high salary, and they're willing to even cut off their requirements to train people on the job and get them to do stuff, which is why it's so easy to get in these fields. So now I'm going to break down the expectations you can make when you're starting out versus when how much you're going to be making within a specific time frame. So I started out in SEO, and at that time minimum wage was $7.25, and for SEO jobs, my first SEO job, I was gonna make $10 an hour. But I know specialists in Houston, just in Houston, it's very cheap. Their minimum wage is $7.25. They can make $50,000 a year after like 3 months. The person I worked with, he was making $50K a year after like 3 months of working there, and he started off as the same as me, making $10 an hour. So it just it's just taking time and getting trained on the job. That's the point of this training and this course is to get you your first job and to know how to move up from that first job to make the salary you want. Because your first job, you probably won't make that much money, but you're going to learn a lot, and that's going to be the foundation for you to make as much money as possible in the future. So anyways, back to topic. SEO specialists make about $50K, and after maybe like a couple months of that, 7 months, you can make $61K in Houston, which is a lot. Houston is very cheap. Just to give a reference, my rent in Houston back then was like $300 for my own room. So it's extremely cheap, and this is like a ton of money. That and like food there is pretty good. Okay. Email marketing. Now, email marketing minimum wage there is about, again, $7.25, right? So email marketing on average you can make $75K after like a year of email marketing, which is a ton, right? You can start off low and you can make a lot more. PPC, pay-per-click, which is Google and Facebook, is just pay-per-click advertising. It's just paying to get your ads in front of people. Now, this is not a social media manager. Don't get this mixed up. You can be considered as one, but really it's Facebook ads managing, and it's called media buying, not social media managing. It's different. But anyways, so for the median salary for this is really high, 92K in Houston. But honestly, for all these, you can make 6 figures from all these jobs. I've seen it time over time again, and people have been able to make past 6 figures doing SEO, or make past 6 figures doing email marketing, or PPC. I make past 6 figures doing just Google ads. You don't have to know all of these, okay? So, onto Google ads. SEM, entry level. I remember my first actual SEM job was, I think, 36,000, and I moved up from there. Okay, so yeah, SEM 50, 66K. Anyways, I had to pause the video. What was I saying? Yeah, so for my first job, SEM, I remember making 36,000 entry level. No, my first job was $15 an hour for search engine marketing, because I moved out of SEO. I didn't like SEO, but not because I wanted to. I think it was just because I didn't have a choice. I moved from Houston to Texas. I'm not saying SEO is bad. It's just I was moving from Houston to Texas. Texas to California, and I didn't have any choice, so I just picked up the first job I could find, which was paid PPC. So I moved from SEO to SEM, and so I started over again, which is fine. And my first job was $15 an hour, and then I made like a couple weeks after that, I got raised to $3,000 a month, and then so that's $36,000 a year, and then couple months after that, that's when I got my first $65,000 job. So that's about a 5-month time frame. Didn't take that long. And then I think like a month after that, that was my first 6-figure job in 6 months. So it didn't really take that much time. So 3 months in SEM to make 65K, and then 2 months later to make $100,000 a year. That was about it. So anyways, back on topic. Individually, these skills can get you a $75,000 job to a 6-figure job, regardless of where you are, where you live. Maybe if you live in an extremely cheap place like Alabama, probably like 80K, but you can still hit 6 figures in any of these fields. And now, if you combine them, if you learn 2 things and you get really good at it, this is kind of a bad picture. I just thought it was a really funny photo of Captain Planet. If you just combine it, you can easily get past 6 figures. And but it does take time to learn. You can learn 2 skills at once. It does take time to learn a skill to generate that experience. But if you can get 2 skills, you can make like $140,000 as a director of a job. It's definitely not uncommon. It's like it's very straightforward. Okay, so here's an example: director of digital marketing, $165,000, flat out. Okay. And so the goal is just to be a pimp. So anyways, just kidding. The main goal is to basically have a basic knowledge of all 4 of these skills, because they're so in high demand. And then you use that to get your first entry-level job. And once you get your first entry-level job, you then choose what you want to get good at. You want to get good at SEO, PPC, email, Google, or both. You can get good at email and Google PPC. You can get good at Google, Facebook, and SEO. That's up to you. But all of this, you want to learn the basics to get your first entry-level job, and you want to get it at a marketing agency. Marketing agencies are companies that their service is to market, to help other businesses market. And so you're going to get a lot of hands-on experience and training from there. And then from there, you can just move up, learn other skills, and make as much money as you want. That is the overall goal of this course. I help you get your first entry-level job. And then after that, I guide you through everything else. I guide you through what you should be focusing on to get that higher salary that you ideally want. Okay? So, how much time does it really take to develop one skill? It's actually not that much if you follow my process and you avoid all the bullshit, all the... Okay, I'm going to try not to swear, because I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. But the time it takes to actually make money, like the time people think it takes versus it actually taking, is very, very different. And that's why that's also a big part of this course. I want you to focus on stuff that makes you more money. I want you to focus on stuff that improves your skills that are relevant. You're not going to learn skills that aren't going to be relevant in this course, okay? As of 3/12/20, I moved back my salary because I'm only working, a couple hours a week, like 4 hours a week now, only doing Google ads for businesses. That's like $75,000 in Texas, which is it's a lot. Okay, and that's from 2 years of Google Ads experience. However, it's a very, very targeted experience. I only got good at Google Ads. I mean, I can do other ads and to a decent degree, but I got really good at Google marketing. So I use that to get my 6-figure digital marketing job, which I quit. And I also probably can make more if I really tried, but I don't really want to because I kind of like my job right now, and I also want to spend time helping you guys. Okay. So that's just an expectation of what you can be seeing in the next couple weeks as I train you through all of this. So this is how learning actually works versus how you were probably taught to learn. In school, you're taught to learn to study, take tests, bullshit. But this is how that's not how I want you to learn. I don't want you to spend all your time watching my videos and going back and forth and all this stuff. I want you to watch it, implement it, rewatch what you don't understand, and implement it again. This is how you get feedback loops. Feedback loops is basically you do something, you get feedback from it, and you see how you do. You're able to see results. And that's how you're able to learn a lot faster. Okay, that's how you can improve in this field a lot faster too. You don't learn by watching all my videos and doing nothing. You can, and you probably can actually if you really want to. You probably can to get your first job. But sometimes if they give you a technical interview on the job, you can't do it. You're kind of screwed. Okay, so watch it, implement it, learn, and then do it again. And I'm gonna go through the implementation of how you can do this. So don't worry about that. I'm gonna guide you through the entire way. But I'm just saying. How you learn, it's going to be a lot more effective if you just listen and practice and implement it. So, that's going to be the first training that I'll see you in the next one. So for this module, I'm basically just going to go over your expectations, your growth, and what you're going to see in the next 4 months, 7 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and moving forward in this job field. Now, like I said before, this is one of the fastest growing job fields you can get into, and you can make a lot of money in a very short amount of time. So I want to tell you how you can take advantage of it. Okay, so first I really want to go over the idea of luck and versus opportunity and why it's so different for people. Because a lot of the times people kind of just fall into this role. They kind of fall into this job. And that's the difference between this training, the course we're going to be taking versus the average person. So let's look at it. So the average person takes about 4 years of college to learn irrelevant stuff. I'm not making fun of people. It's just how the college system is set up. College graduate gets lucky and gets their first job, fall into an entry-level job. They're probably not making much money, like $15 to $10 an hour like I was. And no idea what they're doing. They have no idea how to move up. It's very vague, and it's extremely slow. And this is why you see it takes people 6 years to make $100,000 a year, because the first 3 years were wasted doing irrelevant stuff, and you're not learning anything very targeted. That and also 4 years of college, so that's 10 years, just to make 6 figures. Versus someone who is focused on everything relevant, spending 1 to 4 months learning and applying to jobs. That is key. You are going to get the same level of results, most likely, from someone that went to 4 years of college to apply to an entry-level job versus you who just spent 1 to 4 months learning and applying to entry-level jobs. It's virtually the same thing. I have competed against hundreds of other job candidates that just graduated college or have graduated college for years and couldn't find jobs. And they instead hired me, who just had like 2 months of experience running Google Ads. And so that's just the frame of reference I want you guys to look at. They're willing to take anyone that has the basic understanding, even if that person doesn't have a college degree, as long as that person shows that they have, that they're willing to put in the work. And so that's why following a blueprint is so much better than just shooting in the dark and betting everything on luck, basically. And so from there, if you follow the blueprint correctly, you can turn it into a $35,000 to $55,000 entry level job within a couple months. And the time span it takes to get to 65K is 1 year versus taking 6 years and not getting anywhere, which was like the average person. So that's not somewhere you want to fall into. You want to follow a blueprint that has worked in the past. Now, it's also very common when you follow a blueprint because you'll learn how to get the right experience. You'll learn which skills to focus on. You have the right guidance, which is from me, and your results are going to be much faster. This is why it's so common to get a $65,000 job in 6 months right after high school for people, because they just follow this blueprint. With the right roadmap, you can get the right results, and you know what you're going for very, very clearly. It's not really any luck involved. There's no hoping like the average college student. And I really want to preface this by saying this is one of my really annoying coworkers in the past. I really didn't like him, and he's like, "You're really lucky you're able to work at this top-notch marketing agency." And I'm like, "Fuck no, dude. I picked this specific agency because I know that it's high quality, it's high tier, and it only goes down from here." Okay. And we were basically on the same level. He was like 30 years old and I was 21, and we were getting paid like the same salary for the same job. So that just goes to show you the difference between someone that went to community college, then got lost for a couple of years, then fell into PPC, search engine marketing, and then got an accounting job and still paying off his debts, versus me, who just went to school for dropped out of school, studied this for like 3 months, got my first job, and then by the time my third job came around, I was making more than him. So I just want to tell you that's the difference between the blueprint versus like the average person. Why getting results from this program seems very weird and very oddly fast, but it's not really that fast. It's just doing things right versus wasting your time. So moving up is fast as long as you know where to put your time and focus on. You can find a remote job, you can work 2 to 4 hours a week like I do, you can do something enjoyable and work a few hours, and you can get paid a high salary. It's that is up to you, whether you want to move up in your career and make 6 figures, or whether you just want to work remotely. That's completely up to you. I'm here to help you get your first job and get it moving as fast as possible. So now moving on, when you're starting out in your career, the entry-level job for everyone, just in general, for most people, is going to be the most difficult. Whether you have a degree or not, or experience or not, just the beginning is the most difficult. Okay, and trust me, when I tell you, I was eating shit before I got a ton of job offers. I was eating a lot of shit. I'm going to give you as many strategies as I can that have proven to work in the past to get you an entry-level job as quickly as possible. However, it is still the most difficult thing in this program, in this training, because entry-level job, you're coming from zero experience, and think about it. I am literally minimizing four years of school, minimizing like 3 years of work and getting lost into basically a 10-week program for you. Okay, I'm minimizing all of that, and so that's why entry level is still the most difficult. But I'm getting you there as quickly as possible. Everything after that is like walking in a pile of flowers. You just pick the berries, eat them, and shit like that. It's just very simple. It's very easy. Okay, so I really want to give you an example. I looked back into my 2018-2017. I applied to at least 100 places in Texas, in general in Texas, for my first job. Okay, and this was when I had like a month of experience, right? It's extremely difficult. I didn't get any. I had like 2 to 3 interviews, call interviews, and 1 job offer. Okay, it didn't take much time, and it was basically just a numbers game. I just kept applying, and the application part was actually the easy one. I just, sent in my resume, and that was it. So that's how the application part is going to work. You're going to apply to a ton of places for your first job. It's not going to usually be like this afterwards. And then 4 months after I got my first job, that's when people really started reaching out to me, really asking me, "Do you want to work here? Do you want to work here?" These guys are still contacting me to see if I'm available to work for them. This only took 4 months, and this was my my November calendar. You can see there's interviews every day, every single day, every other day. So I just want to tell you, at first it's gonna be hard. Yeah, you're not gonna get that many offers because you're just starting out. But once you get the ball rolling and it snowballs, that's when you get a bunch of offers. You get a bunch of opportunities, just everywhere. It's just ridiculous. So, and when I did apply to multiple jobs after I got my initial experience, I'm not saying this to brag again. I'm just saying the difficulty, the curve just jumps. It becomes it goes from finding a job and getting it difficult to it being extremely easy and extremely fast to get a job. So I'm not an off case either. This just happens with all the students I work with and other students in the field I've seen. It's just very common for you to find difficulty getting your first job, but afterwards you get reached out from a bunch of people because if you just learn the skills that we tell you to, it's in high demand. So after you get the skills and some experience, that's when your career and your job really starts to skyrocket. And so realistic growth experience, this is realistic even with as fast as possible. You can make 6 figures in a year. Don't get me wrong, but realistically, if you want to slow it down, if you want to take it slow, this is like 2 to 5 months, you can get a $45,000 job. 6 months of experience to a year, you can make about $50,000 to $65K. And then as your career progresses, your job progresses, and you get some experience, 1 to 3 years, you can make 6 figures from there. I'm just being conservative, but by the time you have 3 years of experience, you can make past $100,000. And then after 5 years, that's past 120K, as long as you keep learning and improving your skills. So that's just how the growth of this industry generally is. Now, it's going to range depending on where you live, but that's how I've seen it happen a lot in the past. And a lot of people have made 65K got a job for 65K within their first job and $100,000 within a year. So it's possible. It's just, these are the realistic numbers, and I don't want you to get lost. Okay, so why is it so in demand right now? And the reason is that they have trouble finding specialists for people that know PPC, SEO, and email. You see, people that graduate with degrees in marketing, they think it's just social media marketing. It's just social media posting on TikTok and shit like that. That's literally the same skills as a 13-year-old on TikTok and Instagram. It's not very in demand. It's not very effective. It doesn't really generate money and for companies, and so it's not very effective. That's why you see a lot of people graduate in marketing. They get entry-level jobs for doing very menial stuff. That's like kind of like this, but not really. But everyone buys stuff online. All companies have moved online. It's so in demand for online marketers. It's just very high. So you just learn very specific skills and become a specialist in any of these fields. That's why it becomes extremely easy to find a job. Most people in this field, they fall into it like we talked about. So we're going to take a very methodical approach that has worked in the past and that has been tested time and time again to getting your results as quickly as possible. The only barrier is getting your first entry-level job. That's what we're going to do. That's why this entire program is focused on you getting your first entry-level job, because after that, things just pick up extremely fast. Okay, we're going to show you how to get past it, but after entry-level job, you just need to know that it gets a lot easier. So up next, we're going to learn about basic introduction to the Fantastic Four. Okay, that's what we're going to call it until we get grossed out by it and grossed out by my own voice. But yeah, Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, and email marketing. Okay, so I want to talk about really fast how you're going to go through this entire course and how you're going to get results. So basically, this is how it's going to work. The first 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to basically learn the basics of what you need for digital marketing. Okay? So then, once you know the basics of the first 2 weeks, you're going to start trying to get your first job. Okay? Now, while you're trying to get your first job, the point of this, your first job, is to get you experience, EXP. It's supposed to get you credibility. Credible. So we need to be credible to easily land clients. Okay, we need to get this so that we can easily land clients. That's the point of your whole first job. And later on, if you want to make more money, you want to work remote, your first job will become the stepping stone to getting a remote job or a higher paying job or whatever you want from there. Okay, but once you get the credibility, once you get the experience and credibility, we're gonna focus on afterwards getting clients. And the point of this is we want 2 clients, 2 to 3 clients, okay, paying us 2,000, 2K, 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 and that is a 6. You know, we can charge more. It could be like 3K, and that would be a $9,000 per month income. But you want to start off trying to get your first client right after either you get your first job, right after you get your first job, go straight into trying to get your first clients, or what you can do is try right off the bat getting your clients right away. Now, the problem with this is that you won't have credibility, you won't have experience, and it'll be a bit harder, so you might have to work for free at the beginning to get your first client. But once you get your first client and you get them success, you're gonna have credibility and experience anyways. Now, the point of getting your first job is because your first job, you're basically gonna get trained, you're gonna get credibility, experience, and paid, and you're gonna know exactly how working in digital marketing, how it works, and how basic marketing agencies operate. Because you're basically, when you get clients, you're going to basically become a quote-unquote agency, even though you're just one man, one person handling it. Okay, so you need to understand how the agency model works. So let me recap. You get your first job, you get experience, you get credibility, and after that you can do whatever you want. You can get multiple clients, or you can get a higher paying job and look for a remote job. I recommend you get more clients just because it's easier, and you really need like 2 to 3 clients to make a $100,000 per year income. Okay, now later on in the weeks, we are going to be focusing on your skills, and I'm going to teach you in-depth Facebook skills, in-depth Google ads. I'm going to teach you in-depth SEO, and I'm going to teach you the basics of email. Okay? And the point of all 4 of these is you're not supposed to get good at all of them. No, that's not the point. The point is to get your first job. It's to help you get your first job. That's it. The point of this is to get you your first job at a marketing agency. Now, once you get your first job, once you get hands-on experience, or once you practice Facebook ads enough to start helping clients get results, you just have to choose one of these to specialize in. I specialize in Google ads, and that is more than enough for me to make a 6-figure income. And so any one of these 4, Facebook, Google, SEO, email, this, once you specialize in it and you get hands-on experience, you can make a 6-figure income for any of these. Okay? But focus on getting your first job, and if you can't get your first job, focus on getting clients. Get clients. Okay? That's what we want to do. And I know this is going to sound really confusing, so let me recap for like the last time. Get your first job, get experience, get credibility. And after you get credibility and stuff, you can get a higher paying job, or you can get clients. I recommend you getting clients. Or you can do it the hard way. Hard way. Okay? This is the hard way. This is another way to do it. You learn the skills. And you just jump straight into getting clients. And I'm going to show you how to do this in the later modules. Now, this is a lot harder, obviously, because you don't have any credibility, you don't have any experience, but it's still possible. It's still very possible. Okay? But the main problem is when I teach you how to get your own clients, the main problem you're gonna run into is that you probably don't have hands-on work experience in digital marketing. You don't have experience running and making successful marketing campaigns. So it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do this for clients and know exactly what they want. And so that's why I have extra courses later on in the weeks about Facebook, about Google, and SEO, and email. So that you can do this yourself after you get your clients, even if you don't know what you're doing. Now, I recommend you get your first job so you have a basic understanding of what you're doing, and you don't have to stay in your first job for long. You can stay in your first job for like 3-4 weeks, maybe 1 or 2 months. Some people like to get trained for a while and get paid while getting trained on the job, 1 or 2 months, and get referrals from there. That works perfectly fine too. That's up to you. But the end game. The end game of this is to get 2 to 3 clients as quickly as possible. And the fastest way to get 2 to 3 clients is to getting that first job. But if you can't get that first job for whatever reason, maybe it's where you live, location. Maybe you live in like a dead city. This is really rare, very rare problem where nobody's hiring, nobody wants you. But this is a very off chance that this is going to happen. In that scenario, you just jump straight into looking for clients. That's it. You just jump straight into getting clients and jump straight into looking for it. And you have to jump straight into learning digital marketing. You just have to jump straight into learning digital marketing and doing this yourself. But later on, the thing is, you don't have to be amazing at doing digital marketing. You can make someone else do it for you and pay them like $500 a month. That's fine, because the client's gonna be paying you like $3,000 a month. So you just make someone else do it. But that's gonna be in the later modules. Right now, focus on developing these skills that can pay you basically for the rest of your life. Okay? So this is how it's gonna work. And if you have any questions on how this works, and if the course gets confusing, you can always email me. You can always get support from the Facebook group. Just tag me. Or on your screen, there's a bottom left corner where there's a chat box. Let me just show you really fast. Like this one right here. There's a chat box right here under my GTM, Google Tag Manager. But you can ask me questions here too. So you have 3 ways to contact me if you have any questions in this. But focus on getting your first job and focus on getting your first client. Now, is this like a lot of work? Yeah, but is this like the fastest way to making 6 figures online? Yes. This is I can't think of any faster way than this. Okay, complicated? A bit. Hard? A bit. But way better than going to coding school. Coding is like a nightmare for me. Anyways, that's it. Let me know if you have anything else, and I'll see you in the later modules. Okay, so how is this actually going to be accomplished? Now, you're going to see the first week 1 to 3. Looks like an 8. Weeks 1 to 3, it's gonna focus on your job. Okay? You're gonna see in the course, it's gonna be focusing on your first job. Then, after that, after week 3, after about 20 days, you're gonna get the first client course. Okay? This is gonna show you how to get your first clients, and we're gonna send you the information on how to get more and more clients day after day after 20 days of doing this. Okay? Now, you're also gonna get advanced training on actually how to do your job. Advanced training on Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and in-depth training on SEO and email. Now, what are these parts for? This is to make you overqualified to get that first job, to get experience. Because once you get your first job and you get hands-on experience, like I said, you don't really need to do anything after that except to look for clients. Now, this is supplementary courses that you're going to get. But this, the weeks 1 to 3, this is more than enough to get your first digital marketing job at the entry level. And after this, just focus on getting clients. And then you can just learn this on the side, and you just pick one you want to specialize in for your clients. So how should you take time doing this? Around 1 hour of your day, it's probably going to take you like 30 minutes, honestly. 30 minutes of your day, you should be focusing on applying to jobs, applying online, looking everywhere. I would say if you have the time, do it for like 1 to 2 hours. Okay? Now, the other times, 1 to 2 hours, I would say 2. If you already have a job, or if you already spent all your time looking for a job, all the possible places to look for a job, then for another 2 hours, you want to go and look for clients if you have more time. Okay? Then, if you don't have a job already, if you don't already have a place you're working for, then you want to focus on learning any one of these things: Facebook, Google Ads, SEO, email. Spend like an hour or 2 learning these things. Okay, now is this going to be forever? No, because once you get your job, you don't need to apply. Once you get 3 clients, it's up to you if you want to get more clients. You can outsource all your work. And then once you can hire other people and make them do the work for you, you don't even have to do the ads itself. You basically just sit there, get more clients and get paid. That's it. Okay, but at the beginning, you're gonna have to do these things. So how would this work? If you have a job, if you landed your first job, focus on getting clients. If you have clients, focus on learning marketing. And maybe, if you want, try to get your first job. If you can. If this is too much hassle and you think you just do it yourself, just focus all on the marketing. If you don't have either a job or either clients, focus on marketing and focus on trying to get your first job while getting clients on the side.
Hello everyone, welcome to an intro to PPC. We're going to be going over what PPC is, why it's important, and its place in the overall digital marketing field. So just to get started, PPC stands for pay-per-click. It's a model of internet marketing in which advertisers pay a fee each time one of their ads is clicked. It is a way of buying visits to your site rather than attempting to earn those visits organically. That's also known as SEO. But it's also very effective and much more immediate than search engine optimization. So for this reason, it's often very valuable to businesses who are looking to get leads for new products and services. Search engine advertising is one of the most popular forms of PPC, and it's also one of the most in-demand skills in the job market. So definitely something that's exciting to learn as it can help you find a job. Where can you see PPC ads? Well, just to get started, PPC ads are present on many platforms, but the two most common are Google Ads, Microsoft Advertising, and then also Amazon e-commerce. I usually recommend that when you're beginning, focusing on Google Ads is a good idea, as it's the most common form of PPC, and it's often the one that the most businesses are hiring for. Once you know Google Ads and gain your experience, you can easily transition to other ad platforms, and then you can just kind of keep growing your skill set in each platform. Chances are that many people have seen a pay-per-click ad, but they don't really know it or have never really paid attention to it. Here you can see that these are all Google ads. I searched for banks near me in the Google search engine, as many of us would do when we're looking for a bank. And you can see that the top 3 results are all ads. I've highlighted the first one, but below those bottom 2, that's how they regularly show. So oftentimes the top search results on Google are usually PPC ads, and many times people don't even recognize it. This makes Google advertisement and PPC in general really powerful because you can help connect people who are looking to purchase a product or service or solve a problem with businesses that are trying to sell a product or service or solve problems for the consumer. And you can do that on a keyword basis. So very powerful, lots of search intent, meaning that the users who are using Google, they're usually researching something to figure out what they want to buy or what they want to do. There are more than 5 billion search queries per day on Google Search, just a little fun fact. And what that means is you can leverage all of the data and all of the searches that happen on Google Ads and on different CPC networks to go ahead and push various marketing goals. And that's super powerful when you think about how many eyes are available each and every day. Over 5 billion are searching. PPC specialists can help businesses capture search traffic, and they can help capture the traffic that has high intent keywords, essentially people who are ready to buy, and they can do so at all levels of the marketing funnel. Just a quick explanation what the marketing funnel is. It's kind of just a conceptual diagram of the buyer's journey. So when anybody is trying to buy something and they're often using the internet, the first stage is awareness. The first thing that a user has to be aware of, or a consumer, is they have to be aware of a product or service or a problem. Once they're aware, then they can start becoming interested. So interest is where they start to connect the idea that a certain product, service, or action is going to solve a problem or desire of theirs. And they eventually start moving down the funnel to evaluation. This is where a lot of price comparison happens, a lot of evaluating of different services and comparing and contrasting. And this is a really high intent area of marketing. As we move down the funnel, we're looking at the purchase. Purchase mode. So in the purchase phase, the buyer is actually ready to buy the product or service, and this is what all marketers, their ultimate goal often is the purchase, because that's going to drive profits for the businesses that they're advertising. Although there are many different goals at the purchase phase, some of them could be as simple as purchasing a free video course or signing up for an email. That would be considered a purchase or a conversion. So just something to be aware of as we move through. This will help you kind of conceptualize the different use cases for PPC. Okay, so before we get started on actually implementing PPC, we have to understand, how does it work? It works on a cost per click basis. What cost per click means is that is a form of bidding on keywords that people are searching for, and you're telling a system like Google Ads how much you're willing to pay for each click. And the way it would work is you would give Google Ads a daily budget of, let's say, $50. You would set the max cost per click at, let's say, $1. And then what will happen is Google Ads will serve the ads that you create to as many people as possible in your targeted location without exceeding $1 per click or $50 per day. There's a little bit more to that because there's some flexibility, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to say that this is how it works. And we'll go on to the nuances later. What people then do is they click on your ad and they go to your site. And your website can capture data through Google Analytics or through various measuring platforms. You can also capture leads on your website, and those leads can be used to sell products or services at a later date. And at the same time, your advertising and website can also have the goal of providing certain conversions. And conversions are essentially actions or goals that we're trying to get a user to take on our client's website that are valuable to the business. For example, providing an email for an email capture, filling out a form, making a phone call, visiting a store. There's basically various customizable goals that you can consider a conversion. We'll get more into depth later, but just a general overview of the cost per click model. We do have one more model, and that is called the cost per 1,000 impressions, is actually more commonly referred to as CPM in digital marketing. This is very prevalent on YouTube advertising, display advertising, and Facebook, primarily because what you're trying to do with cost per 1,000 impressions is you're trying to pretty much create a digital billboard and get out in front of as many people who are watching as possible, and also as many relevant people as possible to get those conversions that we talked about. The way it would kind of work is very similar to cost per click, but slightly different. You would give an ad platform a daily budget of, let's say, $70. Then you would set the max CPM at, let's say, $4, for example. The ads will then serve to as many people as possible without exceeding the $4 per 1,000 impressions, or essentially views of your ads. And it will also not exceed $70 per day. So that's how you can control your budgets. People then do the same thing as they click on your ad, they go to your website, you capture the data, get leads, get conversions, and then sell products and services through the website for your client. Just some important terminology to wrap up our discussion of what pay-per-click is. Again, pay-per-click, it's a model of internet marketing in which advertisers pay a fee each time one of their ads is clicked on. The most common is Google Ads, but people also use Microsoft Ads. CPC is a form of bidding where you have to pay a cost per click. That cost per click is often assigned to certain keywords or search terms that people using the internet are looking for related to your product or service that you're advertising. Impressions, that's each time your ad appears on Google or the Google network, or even when the ad appears on any other ad platform, it's counted as one impression. So that's important to know because lots of your metrics are going to depend on your impressions. CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions, that's a way to pay where you pay per 1,000 views, or also known as impressions. So you're paying for 1,000 impressions. Pretty self-explanatory, but we just want to kind of have a general understanding of what pay-per-click is and what the top level aspects are so that we can get a little more in depth when we move to the implementation of these ad platforms, and that's where your real learning is going to kick in on Hyperdrive. Okay, well, that's the summary of our pay-per-click. Super excited to get started with you here, and thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to an intro